Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the official Bolton Wanderers podcast, Wanderers Way, in association with iHeat. I'm Derek Clark and I'm joined by my Wanderers TV co-commentator, Super John McGinlay. In last week's show we heard about Steven Schumacher's playing career. Now let's hear from Steven Schumacher, the head coach, and more importantly, the Bolton Wanderers head coach. Wanderers Way, the official podcast of Bolton Wanderers Football Club in association with iHeat. Coming up, small blip then, Wembley. What went wrong there? It was
everything
for me and
everything went wrong from day. So bad.
Wayne obviously had a difficult time down at Plymouth. Did he ask you for any advice or anything when he was down there or anything like that?
Yeah, he didn't ask me for advice, but I just said to him, like, everywhere you go in Plymouth, it's such a small place. Yeah. I got recognised, and I'm Steven Schumacher, who's played 400 games in League One or whatever. He's Wayne Rooney, who's Man United's leading ever goal scorer in England, so people know who he is. Yeah. And I couldn't move, I couldn't go to shop or go to a pub without people knowing that I was there. And I said, mate, for you it's going to be another level, so just be prepared for that. And yeah, that was my only bit of advice for him.
I was going to ask, see when the call comes from Bolton, is that, do you have to think about that one, or is that a sort of 5-second job? Yeah, but how did it come about?
Well, it came about, I got the call from my agent, obviously a couple of days after it was announced that Ian was leaving, so it was one of them. I'd had a few interviews throughout the process of me being out of work. I'd been and spoken to a few clubs. There was one club that I was thinking, okay, that sounds good, I'll be really interested in that. And then there was a couple of others that I was thinking, I want to do the interview process as kind of like practice really, and see how it all works. If I was offered the job, fantastic, but I didn't think they were the right fit for me. I didn't get offered the jobs anyway, so that was okay. But when this job came and my agent rang me and said to me, look, Bolton want to speak to you, I was like, right, okay, I definitely want this job. So I hadn't said that to him before. I said I want it. I need to make sure that I prepare properly for it, get the presentation right, make sure I've done my research on everything about the club and knew what it was all about. And yeah, I went for it. And then from the first kind of interview that I did, I knew.
Wanderers Way, the official podcast of Bolton Wanderers Football Club in association with iHeat.
Was it an easy conversation with Ryan?
No, it wasn't. No, it was the one and only day that we've ever had a falling out. So we fell out. He said a few things on the phone, and I said a few things on the phone, and yeah, it wasn't a good night's sleep. But the next day, we both have the same agent. So the next day, he picked the phone up, and my agent said to me, look, Ryan's going to give you the call. He's got on his way into Preston and he's going to give you the call later. I was like, okay. So I felt a little bit easier. But I think Ryan knew once he calmed down and he had his coaching staff sorted, like, that was a brilliant opportunity for Ryan to go to Preston and go and work in the Championship, which is what he deserved. He'd earned that right to go there to Preston. And I said to him, I might not ever get asked to be a manager again. And for me, this is going to be life-changing for my family. So I want to give it a chance. And if I'm not ready, then I'll know. But if I am ready, then hopefully it works out for the best. And as I say, I think that was a good decision. But we're still best mates again now.
He was probably, short term, he was probably aggrieved because he knew he was losing a good man.
Yeah, and also because it was like unexpected.
Yeah.
This wasn't something that we'd spoke about, like he's going to move on and I'm going to stay, and then he wouldn't have had who his assistant manager was going to be in mind. So it was a bit of a shock. How's this going to look and how's it going to work? But I think once all that was sorted, and he had Mike Marsh go in with him, who again was the right appointment for him, because I had no experience whatsoever of the Championship, and neither did Ryan, whereas Mike Marsh did. He knew everything about the Championship, he'd worked in it for years, so it was probably the right call for Ryan as well. He might not think it at the time, but I say everything always happens for a reason, and he had 3.5 years, I think, there at Preston, and did really well. So yeah, and I had couple of 2.5 years at Argyle and a year elsewhere. So it's been a mad few years, yeah.
We'll touch on the Papa John's trophy final shortly, Stephen. But that season you went up champions, memorable season. What was the secret there? I mean, 101 points wasn't in the end. Go up with champions. It's a magnificent achievement, that, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable, yeah. I think again, though, it comes back to we had good people. Like it goes back to the Berry days. Like we had good lads, like honest lads who every day came into training with a smile on the face. They worked hard. We tried to give them bits of information what we think would help them individually and therefore help the team. When they went out onto the pitch, they ran as hard as they possibly could every game. Never knew when they were beat, and put a shift in, and the fans got right behind it. We played some good football as well. We played some decent football at times. Had to scrap out results at times. But went toe to toe with two huge clubs that year in Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. Ourselves, Bolton were in the mix for the promotion places. Barnsley were good, and we managed to come out on top of it. Yeah, with 101 points, with a budget that was probably 15th or 16th in the league at the time. So overachieved our budget with good lads and just worked hard.
Yeah. Is that the secret to success? I was going to say that your teams, they're built on sort of hard work and that sort of fight and determination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the bare minimum, isn't it? It's the best job in the world. So enjoy it. Come into work and train at a good intensity. Like our training session since we've been here, I don't know exactly what the lads are saying. You'd have to ask them, but I think they're enjoying it because I can see it on their faces. They look as though they're knackered after every training session, but they come off laughing and joking, and there's a good atmosphere down there. So that's kind of what we're about, trying to train properly, and then if we can train properly, then there's a good chance that you play properly and play exciting football, and hopefully find a way out to win.
The dressing room, Stephen. The dressing room's huge. It's a reflection of what happens on the pitch for me.
Absolutely, it's the most important part, and I know that even more so now, John, having left a really good club and a really good dressing room. By the way, I must say as well with Argyle, it had really good people running the club who were all on the same page. We all knew what the objective was to try and get into the Championship in 5 years, and we managed to do that in 4. And everybody, when we had that spell in League One where we weren't great in the COVID year, well, there was no panic. There was no ever the chance of Ryan losing his job, or when we missed out on the playoffs when I was the manager on 80 points, there was no panic of we need to get rid of him here. It was really well run, really stable, very similar to what we've got here. And then I've had a brilliant dressing room, I think we've got a good dressing room here. And then I've seen what a not a brilliant dressing room looks like as well at Stoke, which was a challenge. So yeah, it's everything. It means everything. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how much ability you've got, or how much money you're on. If you're not a good person, you won't get anything.
Yeah. Small blip then, Wembley. What went wrong there? It was
everything
for me and John.
Everything went wrong from day. So bad. But no, again, it's all learning though. Everything went wrong. So Bolton went down to Wembley the day before and had a look round the dressing rooms, and Ian took them out on the pitch. Got to have a look at the stadium. We asked our players what do we want to do, and we said keep it as normal as possible. We wanted to be the week as normal as possible, so we would always train in Plymouth, and then we'd travel to wherever we were going. We'd train early, so we'd done the same. We trained on a Saturday, the game was on a Sunday, wasn't it? We travelled, we stayed in the hotel, we turned up at the stadium on the Sunday and walked into the dressing room, and all our lads were like, wow, this is brilliant, and all looking round all the pitches and the signs, and then we went out onto the pitch again, because that's what the players wanted. They wanted to keep it as normal as. Not many of us have played at Wembley or whatever, and I agreed, let's keep it as normal as we can and let's play it as a normal game. And I remember saying in the team talk, because last time Plymouth Argyle had been to Wembley, they were hopeless. They got beat by Wimbledon in a playoff final. Didn't play well. It was a poor game. So my idea as a coach was to be, there's going to be 35,000 of our fans here and 35,000 at least of Bolton fans. So let's make it a good game. So I was telling the players all week to relax and play and spread out and pass the ball. and forgot that it was a final. And in the first minute, I'm telling the full-back to throw the ball back to our centre-back. And he did, and he lost the ball, and they went down the other end and got a corner and scored from the corner, and we 1-0 down at Wembley, and I just didn't realise how important that was going to be after 2 minutes, because we've now got 40,000 Bolton fans supporting. We've got 40,000 Argyle fans all nervous, and within 10 minutes it could have been about 3-0. So I got the prep wrong, and the plan wrong, and the whole day was bad, and yeah, it was my fault as well.
I wouldn't say it was your fault, but I know you're saying it was a bad day all round, but the actual spectacle, I mean, just shy of 80,000 fans, that could have been an FA Cup final quite easily.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, John. Like walking out next to the inn and going to do the anthem and standing there for the it was unbelievable. I was so proud. I was honestly, to be in your first full season as a manager, standing out there at Wembley thinking this is like 85,000, whatever the crowd was. I say it was like an FA Cup final, and again it's been an experience that now I will learn from. Like if we ever go back to Wembley again, which we will hopefully soon, I will do things differently. Like I would say different things, and it's all part of the journey. But it was an unbelievable day, and for all of the Argyle fans who obviously had a bad day from the result point of view, there were so many people that moaned obviously on social media, and you got a bit of criticism for it, but there were so many people that came to us and said that's the best day out I've ever had as the family watching a game of football. It felt like taking the kids, taking brothers and sisters and parents and whatever. It was unbelievable. It was a great day, good advert for League One football, and yeah, and obviously Bolton came out on top of it, but that's football.
On the back of that, Stephen, I would say our football club really, really benefited from that. I think we spoke earlier, just before we started, about it, and I think we got so many young fans back on board again within the football club that we hadn't had previously because of that final. Yeah. And like you said, it was a family affair. You know, that's one of the best days I've had in football. Yeah. Seriously. To see my grandkids not there and they're all supporting and all celebrating and everything else, it was just unbelievable. And I think that was really the catalyst and the start of us getting back to where we should be and back to the good times and the good feeling within the club. Yeah,
I could sense that. I thought both sets of fans that day were a credit to the both clubs. I said, yeah, it was played in the right way, the game, and it was played in the right spirit. The fans, obviously, both enjoyed the day out. Bolton Wanderers fans more than the Argyle fans. But you're right, and it was a similar. It was probably a similar outcome, but even though the result went so badly for us, and the performance was, it was probably the best thing that happened to us as well as a team, because it gave us a right good kick when we needed it. Like we had 8 games to go in the league, and I remember saying to the players beforehand, no matter what happens today, this game doesn't define our season, because we still had a chance to go up automatically, and it doesn't define the season. So if we win the league, if we win the cup, then we won't over celebrate because we've got 8 massive games to go, and if we get beat, we won't over dwell on it because it's still the same. And I always remember going back to the team hotel at the end of the game. We'd planned to stay down after the game because we didn't have a midweek game and we didn't play until the following Friday. And we went back to the team hotel, and all the families all came down, and everyone sat around the bar and started having a couple of drinks and whatever. And I just remember looking around the room, and all our group were all sitting there together and talking and socialising. And my uncle, who was had a couple too many pints, was stood in the corner of the room and started singing, "We're going to win the league, and how are you going to believe us?" And I was thinking, oh no, Kev. And it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we'd just been beat 4-0, and he's standing on a table saying we're going to win the league, and within 5 seconds all of our squad was singing it as well. So just showed the team spirit that we had, and thankfully, fortunately, we did go on and win the league.
I think one thing that day that really impressed me was at the end of the game, it would have been so easy for you and your team to kind of clear off down the tunnel quite quickly afterwards. But you kept them out to a man, and you sat and you waited, you showed the respect. Bolton obviously went up, got their trophy, got their medals, came down, and you were still there. And I looked at you and I thought, that's class.
Yeah, that was a painful few minutes, standing there and watching. But again, it was the right thing to do. You know, we got beat by the better team on the day, and Bolton were outstanding, and they deserved us to stand there and clap them off the pitch and watch them take the trophy and come down and enjoy the celebrations, as I say. But it was painful, but it was something again to learn from and think, I don't ever want that to happen to me again. Yeah. So we all learned something from it, and our players say that wasn't me saying to them as well. We all have to stay out. They all would have stayed out because again they were good lads and it was the right thing to do.
It probably helped them as well. It was a bit of a catalyst to go on and finish the season the right way. That didn't go the right way, but to go on and win the championship.
Yeah, we finished the season the way we wanted, and if we were honest and someone asked us, would you rather win the Papa John's trophy or get promoted and win the league before the game, it was obviously what we would have said. So it gives us something to drive for still, and we won 7 out the last 8 games. Again, showed the character that they had and achieved what we wanted to, which was brilliant.
See, just rewind a wee bit. Mind when we came down to Home Park, I think it was the season before, and there's those sort of biblical conditions with the rain and all that. Have you ever experienced a game as like that before, where it was just nuts with it?
That was a mad game. It was just like, it was fine, wasn't it? I think for the
first, last 10 minutes.
The first hour was okay, and then like
the heavens opened.
Like living in Plymouth can do, it proper opened up, didn't it? And the rain came down hard, and there was puddles on the pitch, and I think we were winning. We might have been 2-1 at the time.
Yeah.
I think we were ahead, and I remember looking at the fourth official, and Ian was standing there, and I was going, what's going to happen here? And he said, well, there's only 5 minutes to go or whatever, and we're going to play it out, because otherwise the result stands anyway. I think they're the rules. But we were looking at each other thinking, this is just mad, and the ball just kept stopping in the puddles.
That third goal.
The third goal that we scored, it was went viral.
Yeah.
It was class, but yeah, that was mad. It was a crazy game. But every game that we had, to be fair, against Argyle and Bolton, it was they were always good games, tight, like not much in them, decided on big moments. So I think I remember then the following season at Home Park, Michael Cooper made some unbelievable saves from Dion Charles, and we went down the other end and scored the goal out of nothing and won the game. And the game here was 0-0. I think after Christmas it was a bit of a battle. So yeah, there was it was always close games against two good teams.
Was it a wrench to leave when the call comes? You go to Stoke. Was that a big decision for you?
Yeah, again another big decision. Yeah, like always though with my attitude, always trying to be positive. So many people told me, you can't do it at Stoke. No one can do it at Stoke, and I was like, well, I can. I think I can, and that's not being arrogant or whatever, but just the way I am and the way I like to sort of see the game, and thought that would resonate with what Stoke City fans want as well. Again, a team that works hard and runs around, and no big times in the squad, just wouldn't have that. So I knew it was going to be a challenge. I knew the first objective was to try and stay in the Championship, because they were below Argyle when I left. Argyle, I think, was 17th, and I think Stoke might have been 20th or something, 20th or 21st, I'm not sure. And they were in real serious trouble of getting relegated. So the owner said, look, just try and keep us in the Championship. That's what we want you to do. That was in the interview. So I went back to my missus and said, look, the objective this year is to stay in the Championship, which I think we'll be able to do. And I might not never get asked again to be a manager of such a big club with a huge budget. That's going to give me a chance to compete at the top end of the Championship. So I want to give it a go, and if it goes wrong, then we'll figure something out. And so that's what we done. We left, but as I say, it was tough call, because we had some good times down in Plymouth. We made some real good friends down there. We've still got the house down there, and I was leaving a club that was stable with good lads, and I didn't really want to leave that group of players, or even that ownership, that group of owners. It was really good, really settled, but I wanted to test myself and felt that I could do it, so that was why I moved.
Just fast forward a wee bit. Wayne obviously had a difficult time down at Plymouth. Did he ask you for any advice or anything when he was down there or anything like that?
Yeah, he didn't ask me for advice, but I just said to him, like, everywhere you go in Plymouth, it's such a small place. Yeah. Like, I got recognised and I'm Stephen Schumacher, who's played 400 games in League One or whatever. He's Wayne Rooney, who's Man United's leading ever goal scorer in England, so people know who he is.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move, I couldn't go to shop or go to a pub without people knowing that I was there. And I said, mate, for you it's going to be another level, so just be prepared for that. And yeah, that was my only bit of advice for him. But unfortunately for him, the results didn't go the way they wanted, and they made a change when they did, yeah.
Stoke, you mentioned that the dressing room was different to Plymouth. Was that difficult to walk into?
Yeah, it was at the start, yeah, because obviously it's just players who played at a different level, who were on had lads who played in the Premier League, and they were on a sort of different career journey and trajectory probably to where the Argyle lads were. So the mindset was probably a bit different. But in general, the players were okay. In general, there was one or two that we had a few run-ins with and a few issues, but that's not like completely unnormal. And yeah, there was just an atmosphere around Stoke at the time, where being a club that had underachieved for a long time really, and trying to get the energy into the building, into the training ground, and then trying to get people enjoying going to work and enjoying playing on a Saturday in front of the home crowd. That was a challenge, but I felt I was doing all right with that challenge. I felt the fans were appreciating what we were doing, or what we were trying to do. You could see that what we were trying to achieve. We managed to reduce the wage bill in the second year. We reduced the age of the squad, so the profile of the players was slightly different to what had been there previously. We didn't recruit players who had been in the Premier League and whatever in this summer window, and I felt that we would have done all right this season, but we'd won 4 out of our first 7 games, and they decided to make a change. So everything happens for a reason.
So since you've been out of the game, have you been going to plenty of games?
Yeah.
Keeping tabs on what's going on?
Yeah, loads. Been to loads of games of football. My son is football mad. He's 10. He's I think he's done like 45, 46 grounds already. He's 10. So he's trying to tick. Yeah, he's off his head. He's that's his thing. He used to come to me and say, "Who's playing, Dad? Where can we go?" So we've been everywhere. We went to Old Trafford. He'd never been to Old Trafford. We went there to watch a European game. We went to Wigan. He'd never been to Wigan. We went to Wrexham. He'd never been there. We've been everywhere. We went up to Scotland. We went to watch Celtic and Rangers. So wherever we could get a game, we'd go and watch. And that's what I did for 4 months. Yeah, I went to Denmark. I went to see a good friend of mine who works in Denmark and see how that Scandinavian culture is, and I loved it. Would definitely would not say no to going working abroad. It was fantastic. It was a real good experience. And yeah, just watched loads of football. Had a couple of holidays. Had the Christmas off with the kids, which I've never had a Christmas off ever in 23 years. So it was nice, a nice break, but I was ready to get back because I didn't feel as though I needed a break.
Well, it wasn't a prolonged break, but like you said, sometimes it's good just catching up on family time, innit? Because you sacrifice a lot family-wise.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's been a good one for you, really, to put that right as well.
Yeah, so October half terms and stuff like that when the kids are out of school, which you're always working and always busy, so we took them away on a nice holiday in October, and then over Christmas the kids were off and we managed to go skiing, which I really enjoyed. My 2 kids enjoyed. My wife hated. Doesn't ever want to go back. So we went skiing over Christmas, which was good. And yeah, when the opportunity arose, what month are we in now? Late January. It was late January, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, January.
Yeah, late January to come here. I was over the moon, yeah, and I'm delighted to get back in. So yeah, it's been a good few weeks.
Yeah, I'd be the same. I wouldn't fancy skiing. Are you a skier, John?
Never ever did it. No.
Bambi on ice here.
Good.
No.
What was just out of interest? What was the Old Firm game like that you went to?
Good. Celtic won in the cup final, yeah, on penalties. Yeah.
Was it Cup final?
Was it a green scarf or a blue scarf you were wearing?
Green and white. But,
half and half scarf.
Yeah, half and half. But yeah, it was good. Again, just to take in another game. We've that's what we try and do. Let's say little lad, he's mad for it. So just to get up there and see that, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere, is what you would expect. Rangers were really good on the day. Actually, probably should have won.
They were.
Celtic won on pens.
Unlucky.
But yeah, he's going to hate me, John McGinlay. Sorry,
This,
John.
I was going to ask, see when the call comes from Bolton, is that, do you have to think about that one, or is that a sort of 5-second job? Yeah, but how did it come about?
Well, it came about, I got the call from my agent, obviously a couple of days after it was announced that Ian was leaving, so it was one of them. I'd had a few interviews throughout the process of me being out of work. I'd been and spoken to a few clubs. There was one club that I was thinking, okay, that sounds good, I'll be really interested in that. And then there was a couple of others that I was thinking, I want to do the interview process as kind of like practice really, and see how it all works. If I was offered the job, fantastic, but I didn't think they were the right fit for me. I didn't get offered the jobs anyway, so that was okay. But when this job came and my agent rang me and said to me, look, Bolton want to speak to you, I was like, right, okay, I definitely want this job. So I hadn't said that to him before. I said I want it. I need to make sure that I prepare properly for it, get the my presentation right, make sure I've done my research on everything about the club and knew what it was all about. And yeah, I went for it. And then from the first kind of interview that I did, I knew this. I said straight away, my missus listens on the stairs. Got off the got out of the office and said to her, look, this sounds perfect. She said, yeah, it feels right. So yeah, it took a bit of time. I think it was like 5-6 day process, but yeah, we got there in the end, and I say I just knew in my gut that this was the right move. I said in my first interview that I did, there's no ceiling of where this club can get to, and with good people behind the scenes, with a good group of players, with everybody on the same page, with an unbelievable fan base, we can achieve whatever we want.
Yeah, you've been here as an opposition manager, of course, but what's it like having the fans behind you? What's that feel like?
Well, the 2 games here have been different class, haven't they? Like the Crawley game and the way that ended, but even when we were getting beat, I must say the fans were brilliant with us, because they were getting on the ref, they were getting after the Crawley players because they kept time wasting. They didn't boo our players, not once, so we could sense that the support was there and they were really sticking with the team. And then thankfully we managed to turn it round in the 99th minute or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then the game here against Leyton Orient again, I think everybody sensed it was a big game because Orient are a good team, we were in brilliant form. But I think our fans can also see as well, we were probably the stronger team for large parts of that game. Probably not for 15 minutes of the first half, but the rest of the game, I thought we were better than Leyton Orient, so we put in a really good performance. Yeah.
What do you think the potential is for this club, and what sort of attracted you here? Where do you see you directing this club to?
Well, the first thing is we've got to get to the Championship. We've got to find a way of getting out of this division. The club's too big, and everyone's probably said it, and everyone knows it. It's too big to be in this division, so that's what we've got to do. I've obviously got experience of getting out of this division, and that's probably why I've been brought here. So that's the first objective, and then once we do that, then the sky's the limit. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of time. It'll be something that'll take time for us then to kick on and get to the next level, but there's no reason why I can't get back to where this club's been before. So yeah, one step at a time. The first step is get out of here.
You mentioned the players walking into the dressing room when you walked in. The players have responded to you as well. You enjoying working with them so far in nearing maybe 4 weeks you've been in the job?
Yeah, loved it. Honestly, they've been really good, all of them. Like most people, like if you show them that you're willing to spend the time with them and try and show them things that you think will help them, then they usually buy in and give you their time back and give you their effort. So that's what we've tried to do. We've been ourselves. Obviously, Mark is someone I've worked with for a long time, and he's really good on the individual kind of performance plans with the players, and we'll sit with them and go through their game in detail about where he thinks that they're really good and areas that we think they can get better. And just by doing that and having them little conversations with players, I think it means a lot. And then everything else that we do, I see with the training, how we like to train, and how we like to prepare for games, how we like to analyse and debrief games. Everything's not just for the sake of it. It's to help us try and improve and then win the next game. And I reckon I've not worked with too many players that don't like the way we work, so I'm sure it'll be the same with this group.
Yeah. In terms of managers you've worked for, I mean, David Moyes you mentioned earlier, Colin Todd, of course. You get little bits and pieces from these guys, and that's what makes sort of Stephen Schumacher here.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, so I took little bits from all of them. So David Moyes, work ethic, energy. Colin Todd, giving you the freedom to express yourself. Steve Holland, crew, was attention to detail, was incredible. Like his session plans and the way the coaching career he's gone on to have was unbelievable. Alan Nill at Bury, calmness, so calm. Like no matter what, win, lose or draw, just dead calm. On the touchline, almost horizontal. He's still the same. I watched him last night for Leeds, but I loved him. Brilliant. Who was after that? Fleetwood, Graham Alexander. Really well organised. Brilliant. Well organised. Teddy Sheringham down at Stevenage after that. Was new to it, Teddy.
Yeah.
And I think it took him by surprise that he didn't know the league, didn't know the level, didn't know League Two. So again, preparation, knowing. He's a great fella, Teddy. He got on great with him, but I think he'd be honest. He didn't know. He couldn't understand why League Two players couldn't do what his lads were doing at Man United. So yeah, learned loads from them all, and yeah, just try and take as much from them as you possibly can.
See, back to your playing career, who was the best player you ever played against?
Iniesta.
Did you play? Wow, when was that?
For England against Spain.
Yeah.
Torres played in the same game. It was a tough afternoon. We got
yeah, I could imagine it would be.
Yeah, they were unbelievable. They were obviously young at the time.
Yeah.
16 or 17 they must have been. Might have been under 18s game. But Iniesta was a joke.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard as well played against him for Crewe in a pre-season game. Couldn't get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see, Stephen, see if you've dropped the mic there after you've not just mentioned them names. That's it, gone.
Yeah.
Who's the best player you played with?
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was outstanding. And Wayne was outstanding because he was just like raw power, raw talent. Technically, the best I played with was David Bentley. Played for Arsenal and Tottenham. He was Blackburn. Unbelievable. He was so good. And then played alongside Glenn Johnson, who was top drawer as well. Went on the boss career. Yeah, he was an athlete. Yeah. So 3 different ones there. Wayne was special. Yeah, really good.
You mentioned some big name managers. Best manager you've played under?
Oh, for me personally, I'll probably say Alan Nill.
Yeah.
Yeah, played my best football under Nill. Yeah, made me his captain. Spoke to me in a way that you do with your captain, and I hadn't kind of had that before. And still a good friend now. Still texts me all the time. Gives me loads of advice when I was under pressure. The back end of last season for Stoke, he called me. There was like obviously we'd had a couple of bad results. There were like 4 defeats on the spin or 5 defeats or whatever. We were playing Middlesbrough, and he rang me the day before the game and said, "Just be nice and calm. If you stay calm, your players will be calm. You'll get the result. Have you done your work?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, don't worry about it then. You'll be fine." And we won.
Yeah.
So he's probably the best I work for. Yeah.
Sound advice. Do you ever get any you've got superstitions, John, do you not?
Loads.
Yeah.
Millions.
What about you, Stephen? Any superstitions?
Not really. No, I'm not one of these who has to wear the same undies and same socks and all that. Nah, I'm quite. Don't believe in that. Yeah, quite chilled out on superstitions. Yeah. Obviously, we like to prepare kind of the same way and make sure everything's done, but not personally. No, I'll try and not. I've got enough to worry about. Find that pair of socks that I need. Nah.
Takes a bit of pressure away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As we all know, it's really stressful at times being a manager. What do you do away from the game to relax, leisure time?
Yeah, kids are a big thing now, John. Obviously, most weekends are taken up with them. Little fella plays football. My daughter does likes a bit of dancing. So spending time with the kids and the missus, really. I like a bit of golf on a day off. So if you've got a day off midweek, I'll play a bit of golf, because it's 4 hours where you probably don't think about football. Although I'll be checking my phone and I'll have emails and whatever every now and again. But it's just a bit of exercise and something to try and switch off from. But yeah, just nice and relaxed stuff really. Like going to concerts. Me and my missus are big into music. We like our music, so we'll get out to any live gigs that we can go to of a night. We're not into nightclubs and all that. We're well too old now.
So, you still go to nightclubs, don't you?
Do they still have nightclubs?
Yeah. So no, not late nights out. So that's kind of what we tend to do. Yeah.
What sort of bands?
I'm into country music at the moment.
Wow.
That's
Line dancing?
I've done a bit of that. I've got a funny story about that. I've done a bit of line dancing in Nashville in the summer. So
Wow.
yeah, I wasn't very good. Stick to the skiing. I was better at skiing than I was line dancing. But I mean, I've been to a bit of country music at the moment. Yeah, a bit of Zach Bryan and Chris Stapleton and Luke Combs and all them guys. Yeah, I like my bands as well. So I love Glastonbury. Like going to that. So
What's that like? I've thought about it
Glasgow.
once, but I've just been put up with how the size. I mean, it's humongous.
So big.
It takes about 3 weeks to get out here.
It's so big, but it's it's an experience like no other. It's really good.
Can you class
Should try it.
No.
It's really good.
Never. I like the country and western stuff though.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, one of the best
There you go.
concerts I ever went to.
There you go. Yeah.
Joint
Excellent.
concert it was. You won't know
Faith
anything
Hill,
about that, do you?
superb.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I'm listening to at the moment. And I say a bit of band music, bit of indie music, so a bit of both.
Yeah.
I was in Kasabian not long ago in the Co-op Arena.
Class.
That was good. That was a good gig.
We need to get you a game of golf at Bolton Golf Club.
Let's do it.
Introduce you to that.
Let's do it. What's
It's,
your handicap?
What's the weather? What's my handicap? Higher than yours, I can guarantee you that. What are you knocking off?
15 at the moment, 14, 15.
No, we're
around
not too
there.
far away then.
Yeah, so
I'm just
I'm
a
not-
wee bit more than that.
Yeah, Hughesy's better than me at the moment.
Okay.
He's, and Hughesy's lad, who's 11's better than me as well. So that's a bit of a worry.
It's a young man's game though, eh?
God, yeah.
I started it too late. I'm like a
Great though, isn't it?
rigor mortis, but a fantastic game.
Let's
A
get
a
it.
good substitute for the dressing room at times,
Yeah,
so
we,
a
must,
banter.
we must have a club golf day coming up soon, sure.
We do?
There you go.
Well,
Get it on.
August the 7th, Friday, August the 7th would be our one, but we'll play before
Perfect.
then, that's for sure.
Let's do it.
Absolutely spot on. Well, Stephen, it's been brilliant having you on for our first guest.
Yes.
It's been magnificent, so thank you.
Thanks for having me.
There you go,
Enjoyed
folks.
it.
Yeah, and we're going to get Stephen to sign some photographs of him. We're going to give them away, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Wanderers Way, of course. We'll bring you a show hopefully every week with ex-players and present players and famous faces from in and around the club. But thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. Wanderers Way, the official podcast of Bolton Wanderers Football Club in association with iHeat.